Hey Capricorn, welcome into your reading. Let's see what's going on. We're going to go right into the second week of April. Okay. But while I was thinking about you guys and meditating on you, I was getting the vibe of you holding on to something or clinging on to someone. It can be a material possession, it can be money, it can be a situation you're holding on to, but it feels like a person. And the thing is, you're not letting go because you have the opportunity to get into something new, but you haven't. So let me see what's going on. At least that's what I'm vibing. What's the situation for Capricorn, please? All right. Okay. Well, you're further along than I thought. Okay. Five of Swords. Not bad. Capricorn, Five of Swords in reverse. You're finally making that sacrifice. You're finally making that choice. See, when we get the Five of Swords, we have to pick the better of two options, and it's never fun. But at least we're not left empty-handed. That's the deal. But the Hermit means that it costs you a lot of your sanity, your peace, your time, because you had to call time out on life to make this wise choice, but you're still struggling to do that, okay? You're still struggling to go within and make that deliberation for yourself, for your life, to move forward and move on. Because why? There we are. We're torn this way, that way. To new life, old life. Which direction should I take? New job, old job, this person, that person. A lot of you, yes, it has to do with your marriage. Maybe a new career path is opening up to you, but you're like, I like tried and true. But tried and true stagnates, and it always ends up falling apart. Do you know what I mean? Imagine like the computer never evolved. Where would technology be today? Okay, let's see. What's coming in towards my Capricorns, please? What's coming in towards my Capricorn, please? Yeah, you're kind of carrying on casually here with somebody, like an affair or a fling, or you're just keeping it casual. It's non-committal for sure. You're in and out. Even if this is like work related and you're helping someone out, you're keeping it light and fluffy and slightly detached. That's for sure. Because a lot of you, I do see a third party situation. See, with the Knight of Wands, this is hi. I came to party, but don't ask me to clean after the lights go on. I'll be gone before those come on. Here you are just texting them. You're not picking up the phone. You're not calling. You're keeping it light and fluffy. You're keeping it casual. You're just be like, what's up? You want to get together? And then get togethers like at your house. It's not even a date. You're not exactly sharing deep feelings. Three of Pentacles is talking about third-party situation, which you are trying to resist. You are trying to avoid a lover here. I can see that. And then I also see Justice and the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs naturally come with the Page of Cups. We'll see more when we clarify. What's the surprise this week for Capricorn? Those of you, if this is work-related, the lesser of two evils is what you've chosen. You have a difficult choice to make. You're trying not to commit to someone or something, even though you're collaborating with a team. You're giving them minimal information, something like this. If that's not you, then they're doing this to you. Okay, because this is just basically the common thread I see. What is the surprise this week for Capricorn? Jesus, I don't want all these cards. Thank you. I'll keep this and that. You have the Nine of Swords in reverse, which is kind of good. But this Page of Wands is upside down. It's like hear no evil. These make me feel like hear no evil, see no evil. La, 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 la. Don't tell me anything. I don't want to know anything. Leave me alone. You're just like, it's like you're struggling to look at something like it's a new adventure. You're not even curious, or that's what you're struggling to do. You're struggling to get excited over something. There's a lack of excitement or whatever it is, but you also aren't stressing either. It's like, I don't care, I don't care. Just do whatever you want, but just leave me out of it kind of energy, not having sleepless nights. I think you made a choice of some kind, Capricorn, and now you're waiting to see what the results of that person. You're like, I don't really give a shit about this. This is meant to be casual anyway. But you're stalking. You're looking. You are also not worried. So you're kind of just in this place where you don't care really what happens with the new energy that's coming in, because you're kind of waiting for the old energy to see what happens there first. So you've kind of made peace like that within yourself, and you're just rolling with that. All right, let me see what the advice is. And if none of what I'm saying is making sense, I'll really give it some time. Let these unfold. Because April 15th through the 17th, oh, hello, ain't nobody going backwards anymore. Everyone's like way forward. Meaning that even if you don't feel that way, or you might not be that way, the people in your environment will. All right? Everyone. Advice here for Capricorn. This is a good thing. This is like a reset, a recharge to our lives. We're meant to get excited about this new path and journey. I know it's sad to leave things behind. But those of you that are rekindling marriages or commitments, long-term ones that you've had, only those, it would be a brand new experience. It would be like starting from scratch. It would be like one of you had amnesia and you really don't know the other person, and you just restarted the whole relationship from brand new. Like that. And that, is rare. Doesn't really work like that, because when we know somebody, we go in with biasness. Or if you go into a relationship, even though you're hung up on another person, again, it's biased in a different kind of way. You have no space open for the new person. You're not available emotionally. And that's kind of what it's screaming to me right now. Not emotionally available. And you don't even care. You don't want to think about anything else. Because whatever you're doing casually, you're like, oh, that's just like an external version of myself doing something physically, but it's not really me. But I can see here in your advice, the 9 of Wands. I get that. And I need you to do what you need to do to persevere. Okay, Capricorn, because this is the Wounded Warrior card. This is you feeling all kinds of inflictions and pain, and you're still carrying on. You're still being a trooper to the point where, I'm feeling it and I want to cry, because I know the last 12 years have been very hard for you. I know you guys been very much misunderstood. I know very much that it's been hard with life lessons, and Chiron was all up your asses, and it was just like a disaster of one life lesson after the next. Thank God you finally passed that baton over to the fixed signs. And now your planet, Saturn, has moved into Aries, and it's like not comfortable position there. And it's making you do things you don't normally would do or want to do, but you're carrying on. You haven't given up. And because it's in your advice, it needs to remind you of that. Don't give up. Don't stop fighting. Do protect yourself. Do put up boundaries. Show people where they are. These are my boundaries. You don't like them? Fuck off. That's your advice. 6 of Pentacles. You might need attention, or you need to give attention. You are discerning adults. You figure it out. All right? Because you're not all in the same position. This could be someone needing your help. Either emotionally or financially, or they just need your time, because this is the Beggar's card. And if you got to spare, then spare. If you don't have it to spare, don't. What is the outcome of the week, please? I really think that that 6 of Pentacles is referring to this casual thing. This casual person wants your attention. You might need to feed a little bit of it. You don't have to if you don't want to, obviously, but because I see what you're doing here. Wow. Hangman. But Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. You're stuck. I mean, I can see you're stuck because of certain things that are playing out in your life. But at least now your point of view is shifting. It's changing. And again, that's probably because all these big boy planets that are having a party in the sign of Aries, are kind of saying, yeah, we're going to move forward like it's 1999. You know, that song from Prince. But not everybody's ready for that. But at least you're slowly shifting gears and you're slowly moving in that direction. Not that you're not progressive, you are. This is just a different type of vibe. This is just, I don't know, something very unique, something that you're not normally attuned to doing or used to doing. Your point of views are shifting and changing. You're adapting quicker. So you are getting stuck, but at least you see it and you know it now at the end of the week. And this has everything to do with something regarding your career, your family, your marriage, your education, your career, whatever you deem orthodox, okay? Because that's what Hierophant talks about. You're starting to see something is toxic. It's a relationship, guys. And the universe is triggering these events of this casual thing for you. This, I suspect, is the 3rd week of April. Is triggering these things, 1, to help you heal. 2, to realize that some things are just better left in the past. They were good for when you needed them. They no longer apply to you for your future. And 3, to accept new opportunities that are coming your way as new forms of abundance. All right, let's continue and start reading the extended. Tell me about Capricorns, guys. Why is this, guys? I call the spirits sometimes guys. Like I'm on the council, in a council meeting where I'm on the board. I'm not ready. I like being on the earth plane, spirits. Okay. 5 of Swords in reverse. The Hermit in cross, please. The King of Swords. All right. Let's double check that's true. That's true. The King of Swords. This is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They do not need to be an air sign. They could have a lot of air in their chart. But it's just telling me that this is somebody in their head right now. But moreover, this is somebody that's fair. They're balanced. They're honest. They're clear-minded. All right? And you're debating them. Or choosing them. Interesting. There's somebody here you're not reconciling with. You're just not. At least that's where it's headed. Because this is coming down the pike. 3 of Cups in reverse. I kind of dig it. I don't think a lot of people understand that there's a new version of yourselves. And it's taking some signs longer than others to see that you're very different than who you were a couple years ago. Very, very different person. All right. I think this is like some crazy ass understanding or wake up moment you're having in April. It's like clicking. The Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups. Queen of Swords. Gotta love it. Whoever this lover is that you have, like some of you, it might not be a lover, but a lover is definitely not your spouse or your significant other. Lover, let me explain who they are to you. They are not your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They're not on Instagram. You haven't shown them to family. They're not in public with you. Either because you just met them or because you're in the shadows for a reason. What's the reason? I don't know. One of you is married. Or one of you just broke up and doesn't know how they feel about the person, so they're not ready to introduce you to family. Here's the significant thing about lovers, though. You met each other for a reason. The universe made it so. You 100% were always going to meet. And you will always remember this person as long as you live, and they you, regardless if you stay together. But that's the interesting thing about lovers. Lovers, you need to choose. Despite your odds, do you go towards each other? What are those odds? Those are the reasons why you're lovers in the first place. The interesting thing that I said before, I was like, wow, that's interesting, is the Queen of Swords. You're mirroring this other person. You're like the King and Queen of Swords. Not only you right for each other, you're on the same wavelength. I don't care if you're two males, two females, however this dynamic is going, whatever your pronouns are, they mix. Because at end of day, cards are souls. They don't read pronouns. They read divine masculine and they read divine feminine. For all intents and purposes, me as a reader on YouTube, I have you as my queens, whether you're male or female, and the kings as the male or female or the other person. If it was a private reading, I would be more distinctive. But I do this because I'm trying to explain to you guys that you and this other person, as the king and queen of swords over here, are good for each other. Look at this card over here, the lovers. All right. It's the sun and the moon. One cannot be without the other. Yin cannot be without yang. Black cannot be without white. They need each other. They balance each other out. This is why you guys were always meant to meet. You understand now. The only difference is you're both in your heads, and you can make a very different determination of who you were meant to be. But this is very much a lover for me. And it's falling in the same position. I have no doubt of what I'm saying. If this isn't your story, it's not your story. If this doesn't fit your profile, don't make it so. You're texting. You're keeping it light and fluffy. You're trying to choose what this lover is to you. What they are is ideal. That's the irony. But there you are, leaving somebody behind because you're not emotionally satisfied. Now that could be your spouse, your significant other, or this lover. Whoever you're not emotionally attached to. But this lover, you probably didn't let them in because I see the 9 of Wands. Or you're not. You're trying not to. You're like arm's length. Lover could be business partners. Lover can also be a friend that you, like a frenemy. Like you're friends, but you compete against each other. It's like a weird thing. It's a weird dichotomy. You need them. You need each other. But you're kind of friends, but not really. You're friends mostly. What is the 9 of Swords in reverse? You're like, what are you talking about? I really truly have this kind of dynamic right now with somebody. I need them. They need me. We know this. We're discerning adults, both of us. We get it. We're friendly with each other. But are we each other's cup of tea? Probably not. But we need each other. Well, basically our kids need each other. 8 of Cups. Yep. You're like, fuck it. I'm not going to stress. Hear no evil, see no evil. I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave this thing that no longer emotionally serves me. Why? Why should I stay? To the point where you're like, okay, I'll text you. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao, bacalao. I got other priorities to deal with. I want to go towards somebody who's emotionally serving and emotionally available. Okay, what's the 9 of Wands? The advice here for my Cappies. Something to do about your marriage or your commitment or your family or the money that you're getting from your job. You do kind of need to set boundaries, protection, but you have to deal with this. Queen of Cups, maybe somebody broke up with you or pushed you away. That's what it looks like. And I see a passionate new beginning behind it. That's what it feels like. It feels like somebody pushed you away. All right, what is the Hangman? The Fool and the 2 of Wands. Okay, so as you're getting stuck, you're starting to realize certain things, as I said earlier. But you will be taking that risk and leaving and going into your future. Some of you, you're leaving the baby and the bathwater and the diapers and all of it together. You know, they say don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. I think you're the baby and you're leaving. You're like, fuck, you keep my dirty bathwater and all the shit in it and just leave me alone. That's probably a poor analogy. What you're doing is you're leaving everything. Lover, spouse, person, all of it. Some of you might go towards the lover, but it looks like you're leaving your past behind is what you're doing. You're breadcrumbing on this other person. And I think you're breadcrumbing them because you haven't allowed any space to open up for them anyway. You kind of kept them at arm's length, and you're just like, okay, I'll see what they're about later on if they're willing to hang and wait for me. But the universe brought them to you because they were trying to trigger an event for you to move into a different path, a different direction in the first place. And you are. You're finally seeing the light. From the hangman position, you're going into your future. And you're bouncing. You're taking that risk. You're like, let's do this. What's going on here for Capricorn? What are we talking about for love in the extended? Retreat. Yep, you're definitely taking a step back. It's time to disconnect from the world. And healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Parents don't know love like modern times as it is today. When we forgive our parents, honestly, because they didn't know any better or they did shit so different, and we realize that we are who we are and we love the way we love, that we might be different from them. When we accept these things, we can forgive them for their indiscretions because their bullshit has nothing to do with us. In fact, it could be a lot of projecting. And they could project all they friggin' like. It's still, yes, it's not right, but when you forgive them because you look at them like, oh my God, I feel sorry for them. They're projecting their shitty life onto me. When you forgive them, you let go. And then you lead a healthier love life and you start to heal. And you start saying, I'm okay with the choices that I make. I don't care if I get a divorce. It's got nothing to do with them. We live in a different time. It's kind of one of those vibes. All right, guys, this is what I have for you this week. For those of you who are inclined for an extended, I'll see you over there. Everyone else, I'll see you next week.